We're back, and today it's going into the final 8 divisional round predictions. Here we are. Wildcard weekend was a huge smash, boys. We had a bunch of games, and we had only one incorrect pick. The Los Angeles Chargers, they sold us. Now, the Chargers, it was the first leg of the parlay to go, but it was the only one. The Rams came up clutch as the dogs. The Commanders came up clutch as the dogs. And we go in to divisional round weekend looking to get some victories. So the first game we're going to predict in divisional round weekend, we're going to go in order. We have the Texans at the Chiefs. Saturday, 4:30 p.m. It's in Arrowhead. Now, we have seen this matchup pretty recently in the NFL season, so we don't have to look too far to get an idea of what this game's going to be like. The Chiefs won this game 27-19, December 21st, and Patrick Mahomes played pretty well. This was the game where Mahomes might not have been playing because of his ankle. Instead, Mahomes was basically their leading rusher. Mahomes had 5 carries, 33 yards, and 1 touchdown on the ground. He also passed pretty well, 28 for 41, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. The receivers, man, Xavier Worthy, 7 for 65 and a touchdown. Samaje Perine had 50 yards receiving. Marquise Brown, 5 for 45. D-Hop, 4 for 40. Kelsey, 5 for 30. The depth goes on and on with the Chiefs' receiving weapons. The Texans, Stroud played all right, 23 of 39, 250, 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks. Not good. So the Chiefs' defense gave him trouble. Mixon didn't play great, 14 carries, 57 yards, averaged 4 yards a carry, 0 tutties. Receiving, this is where things get weird. Nico Collins had 7 for 60. It's mid, but it's not great for him. Schultz had 5 for 45 and a tutty. Solid game, which is important because Tank Dell had 6 for 100 and a touchdown. That was the game Tank Dell, Thanos evaporated him with the snap of his hand. Tank Dell, he's out. He ain't coming back. So can Robert Wood step up? Can Xavier Hutchinson step up? Who else? John Mechie, can he step up? I don't know, because really the Texans offense didn't even beat the Chargers. The Chargers beat themselves with the worst offensive play I've ever seen, and the Texans defense was elite that game. It's going to be a battle of defenses. It's very interesting. The over for this game is quite low. The over-under is 41.5, so they're not expecting many points to be scored here. Chiefs are favored by 8 points. That's wild. The 8 points is wild because the Chiefs have been winning games, but they've been winning close games. I'm definitely going Chiefs money line right here, but I think -8 is a bit too big. Up next, we have the Commanders and the Lions. Commanders play the Lions Saturday Night Football, 8 p.m. It's in Detroit. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I think the Commanders can win this game because I'm not sure, man. Yes, we've seen teams coming off of a bye week start off slow. The Detroit Lions just had their game of the year where they decimated the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football. They looked really good. The Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs scored 4 touchdowns. And the thing about this is that the Commanders' most recent game against the Buccaneers, which they clutched up for us, Commanders won 23-20. Jaden Daniels played solid. He only had 13 carries for 36 yards, so Jaden Daniels was contained. The Commanders could not run the ball at all. B-Rob Jr. had 10 carries, 16 yards. They played pretty well. Diami Brown had a big game. Terry McLaurin had a big game. But the Buccaneers, Bucky Irving had 17 carries, 77 yards. Mike Evans had a big game. The Commanders' defense is susceptible to the rush game, to the pass game, and the Lions' offense is probably top 3 in the league. I mean, definitely top 3 in the league. Might even be the best offense in the league. It's up there with the Ravens, up there with the Bills, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be a shootout. Yes, the Commanders might be able to score points because the Lions' secondary, the Lions' defense is not necessarily great with all the injuries it's had. So it could be, it feels like it's going to be like a 30-20 type game where the Lions just beat them out, but they beat them by like 10. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case with this Commanders-Lions matchup. The over-under is 55.5. So Las Vegas thinks that either the Lions are going to score a lot or that both teams are going to score a lot. Because for that to be the case, the score would have to be 31-25 for the over to hit. So, I mean, seems like a very high amount of points are expected to be scored. The Lions are favored by 9.5 points. 9.5 points is wild. But like I said, my prediction was like 30-20. So I guess it makes sense. Definitely Lions money line right here. We got 2 games left, and we're getting to the juicier ones. We have the Eagles hosting the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this game is very, very interesting because they played November 24th, and the Eagles were in Los Angeles. So you would expect that now it's going to be a bit easier for them. Eagles won 37-20, and Saquon Barkley had the game of his life. Hurts had 15 for 22, 179 yards, 1 touchdown. A.J. Brown had a big game, 6 for 109 and a touchdown. Puka Nacua had a big game, 9 for 117. Kyron Williams had a big game. Stafford had a solid game. But Saquon Barkley had the game. 26 carries, 255 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. 4 catches, 47 yards, and no touchdowns there, but really, really big game right there for Saquon Barkley. He had 300 scrimmage yards. You can't tell me that the Rams can come into Philly and win when Saquon Barkley had 300 yards last time they played. Now, the Rams are trending up. They had a big win, a huge win against the Vikings. They dominated them. That's great. Honestly, this is controversial. The Rams' passing offense is better than the Eagles right now. A.J. Brown's reading books. Jalen Hurts, he's not looking good passing, honestly. He's doing what he's completing what he needs, he's completing the easy throws, and he's not doing too much. He's not elevating, he's maintaining is what it feels like. And on the other hand, Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua, they are on a whole different level. They are playing out of their mind right now. It's really fun to watch. So I think the Rams actually might surprise people. This seems like it smells like a trap. This smells like a trap game for the Philadelphia Eagles. But if the Eagles lose this one at home, man, the city's going to burn down. Over-under is 45.5. Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. And I can't go with the dogs just yet. Going with the Eagles, 6.5 points. Ravens versus Bills. The Ravens head to Buffalo, man, to take on the undefeated 9-0 at home Buffalo Bills. Sunday Night Football, 6:30 p.m. I don't know if that's Sunday Night Football or not. But I do think that the Baltimore Ravens will go into Buffalo. And I think they should be dogs. It says the Ravens are favored by 1, but in my mind, they're dogs. The Ravens took on the Bills at home earlier in the season, week 4. The Ravens won 35-10, and Derrick Henry had a huge game right here. Derrick Henry had 25 carries for 200 rushing yards. That's wild. Keep in mind, Zay Flowers had only 1 catch for 10 yards in that game. So if Zay Flowers doesn't play against Buffalo this week, which he was a non-factor last time when they won 35-10. Now, granted, it could be a snow game. I think it's like 40% chance of wintry weather. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a game where they might have to ground and pound both sides of the ball. Josh Allen had a bad game last time. Pretty much everyone on the Bills had a bad game last time. I think the Baltimore Ravens, the dogs, go on the road and take down Buffalo. And that is my last divisional game to predict in this divisional round prediction video. Now we got a ton of fantasy football content coming out, ton of good predictions coming out. Stay tuned, smash the like and subscribe button, comment down below what 4 teams you got moving on to the conference championships. Peace out. Thanks for watching, boys.